We know why we're here tonight. We didn't get the result we were looking for. But I'm here to read a statement from the European countries, Europe for Scotland. And you will know that there were about 6 or 7 different cities in Europe where the people came out in solidarity with us. I will read out what they are saying. European friends, today is a sad day for Scotland and for all Europeans who believe in democracy. This morning, the UK Supreme Court certified that the UK's unwritten constitution does not allow the Scottish Parliament to fulfil the democratic mandate from the Scottish people for an independence referendum. Whilst the UK government withholds its permission, Scotland is trapped in constitutional limbo, stuck in a supposed voluntary union against its democratic will. We all know that the United Kingdom is all but united. For decades, Scotland and England have been on divergent political paths with radically different ideas for their future. It was England that voted for Margaret Thatcher, David Cameron and Boris Johnson. Scotland not only rejected each and every one of them, but in fact we didn't vote for any of the last 10 Tory Prime Ministers. It was England that voted narrowly to leave the European Union. Scotland never wanted to leave and voted overwhelmingly to remain. It is England that would like to be global Britain. All Scotland wants to be in charge of its own destiny and not be collateral damage for England's terrible choices. How many more Tory Prime Ministers should be inflicted on Scotland against its democratic will? How many more years should Scottish businesses suffer because of Brexit? How many more generations of young Scots should be deprived of Erasmus and opportunities to freely travel and work in Europe? How much longer should Scots be denied their democratic right to choose their own future? Scots deserve the same rights and opportunities that we Europeans enjoy, and that's why we're here today, to express our solidarity and to tell Scots we stand with you. Tonight, my friends, from Europe to Scotland are gathered in solidarity in 6 European cities. We are in Edinburgh, Berlin, Rome, Dublin, Paris, Munich and Brussels. We are also tomorrow in Denmark. Our message is simple. Scots are not alone. Europeans support Scotland's democratic right to choose its own future. And Europeans would love to welcome our Scottish friends back into our European family and build a better Europe together. The Scottish people's mandate for a new independence referendum must be respected by the UK government. Brexit must not be Scotland's destiny. Europeans will always keep a light on for Scotland. The fight is not over. It has only just begun. Solidarity.
Well, friends, I like the sound of that. Berlin, Paris, Brussels, Dublin, and Inverurie. Now, the 6 European capitals, the 20 locations around Scotland, do you know what they all have in common? It's dry there. Only in Inverurie is it raining, because the northeast of Scotland always gets the hint end of everything. But are we discouraged by a spot of rain? No. Are we going to demonstrate? Yes. Now, obviously, I didn't think going to the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom was a great idea. The message is in the tin. The Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. It's like the British Broadcasting Corporation. They're there to protect the United Kingdom. And Lord Reid didn't disappoint. I don't think he got much Scottish history of George Watson's, incidentally. What he said, not just he turned down the Scottish government, he actually turned down Scotland. He said Scotland doesn't have a right to self-determination. Well, we're here to tell Reid and the London Supreme Court and the London government that you can delay democracy, but you cannot deny democracy. And what's going to be a common factor in the 20 demonstrations around Scotland in the 6 European capitals is that people are looking for the way forward. And Scotland cannot take this lying down. In a way, you know, the Supreme Court might do us a favour, because in their arrogant way, they've over-egged the pudding. What they've said to Scotland is you don't have the right to choose. You're not a real nation. You know, we'll make the big decisions in the Supreme Court, in the London Parliament, and you Scots, well, you can go on with making wee decisions, but you're not entitled to a say in your own future. Well, we're here to say that no self-respecting Scot could ever tolerate people running down our nation and our right of self-determination. So what's to be done? Well, firstly, I think immediately, within the next week, all Scottish MSPs and MPs who believe in independence should gather in a constitutional convention in Edinburgh, our capital city. They should invite Civic Scotland, and the purpose should be to make a declaration, not of independence, a declaration of Scotland's right to self-determination, because the Supreme Court decision cannot be allowed to stand. And that Edinburgh Declaration should be rammed down the throats of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom and the London government. That Scotland will not be denied its democratic rights. Secondly, demonstrations. The 19 demonstrations where it's fair and the 1 demonstration where it's raining. All our 20 demonstrations around Scotland tonight. This must be the start of popular agitation, not the end of it. These should be recurrent, because street protest, popular agitation, peaceful action by the people is an essential part of any successful campaign. So what we've got here, gathered in front of Inverurie Town Hall, is just a small part of the mass movement that's going to be necessary to assert Scotland's right to choose. Thirdly, if the Scots Parliament can't have an independence referendum, then it should look at the referendum that could have within competence, perhaps asking the people about extending the power of the Scottish Parliament to include an independence referendum. I'll tell you a secret. That's one of the things I had up my sleeve 10 years ago when I was forcing David Cameron to concede an independence referendum. That's the third thing we can do. And the last thing we should do is this. If there's going to be a plebiscite election, whether it be in a general election or a Scottish election, then for goodness sake, fight that election as Scotland United. Fight it as one candidate for each constituency. Don't fight it as political parties, because if you do that, then the opposition will spend their entire time talking about the state of the health service or ferries that don't sail. Fight it on the single issue of Scottish independence, of Scotland's right to choose, of Scottish democracy. That one issue which should unite all parties and all the people of the independence campaign. That has to be the way forward. Now, I've made many speeches in Inverurie. This, I have to say, is the first one I've made in the bus stop. But hopefully, as you can see from the honking that's been going on, it's not just in front of this town hall, in front of this bus stop. This is a part of a mass movement that's going to demand the right to choose. Scotland's rights as a nation, because they underrate us if they think we'll accept Scotland being diminished. Whatever other ideas we may have, whatever policy differences we may have, whatever party differences we have, what unites us and what unites Scotland is that we are a nation, equal with any other nation. And we have that thing which is part of the human condition, recognised by the United Nations, by the Helsinki Accord, by the Strasbourg Court. Our essential right as a people to choose our own future. It's Scotland's choice and Scotland's democracy. Thank you very much. I'm in the hands instantly. Can I, wait, one more thing. Can we thank Garioch Women for Change for organising the demonstration tonight? Give them a big round of applause.
Just a quick word. Thank you all very much indeed for coming along tonight, and a safe journey home. And we're ready to go for this. Okay?
All right. Right, let's have a big cheer. Yay! Yes. Independence! No! Independence! No! Independence! No! Independence! No!